So quick little disclaimer before this video begins. I just want to say this is my first time ever doing anything like this, so it was a lot harder than it looks, it seems. I thought I'd be a natural. I never interviewed anyone before. There was some technical issues. I'm sorry. It's gonna get better. We're gonna continue to get better. I just didn't want to have DBG come back. Like, he's literally a GOAT for being here. I appreciate him so much, for real, for real. So I just hope you guys enjoy. You guys are gonna see something we really messed up on. I kept it in the video. You guys will just see it as straight up raw footage, more or less. I want to make this live someday, so just enjoy, and we'll talk later. Good evening, all you beautiful faces out there. It's your boy Mos Ballin, but here you're gonna refer to me as Muhammad. That's my real name. So we're doing the Mos over here. You could go with Mos, whatever you feel like, but we got a special guest today. Honestly, this has been in the works for over a month now. We've had to postpone on this man multiple times. I'm just gonna say it like this: he's a champ for like holding it down, still wanting to do this after all that. Because honestly, if it happened to me like this, I don't know if I would have handled it the same way. So without any introduction, honestly, I don't really have to introduce him. You guys know him, the lad. Bro, just let's get into it. Come on, I'm ready. Where is our guest? How you doing, DBG?
How are you, Mos?
I'm doing well, great, man. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so sorry once again for everything, man.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
man.
it.
You know how this world is going right now with this whole COVID situation. I don't know how it is for you guys over there, but please let me know. We're actually really interested.
I mean, we basically have been in pretty much full lockdown since Christmas. I think I've left my house maybe 3 times since Christmas, and it's literally just been to go to the shop 30 seconds down the road. The only times I've left my house since Christmas, so.
Wow, that actually is like, that's so hard to believe that we're in this situation right now. And like, if for anyone that doesn't know, you're from Ireland. So we'll start off with the geographics, because to be honest, the way this, like the school system is here in the US, it's not that great. So a lot of people probably don't even know where Ireland is. So you're right next to, are you right next to the UK? Are you a part of the UK? You want to start there?
No, we're the small island. If you go directly right before mainland Europe, there's there's mainland Europe, and then to the left of that is Great Britain, which is England, Scotland, Wales, and then the other tiny island that, if you zoom in on it, kind of looks like a bear, is Ireland.
Sounds good. All right, so now that we know where you're located, let us know a little bit more about how's the weather over there right now. Because right now in New York, it's freezing, it's snowing all the time, and it's kind of really bad. I'm glad that I'm at home. So what's it like over there?
I mean, now it's just rain. It's kind of hard to explain. I mean, a lot of the time it's kind of like similar enough to like in New York, Boston, but just less extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we might get snow once every 3 years. Might snow badly once a decade. We very rarely, I have no idea what Fahrenheit, I think I look.
Mm-hmm.
We might get 23 degrees Celsius.
Okay. That's still pretty cold. I don't know
what that is Fahrenheit. So that is, we get like 73 degrees here is like the hottest it gets here.
Yeah, okay.
And the coldest it gets is like 28 your temperature. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought.
So it's like, it doesn't get too high, too low. It's kind of just normal.
Makes sense. Yeah, when you first said it, I was like, I thought you were already talking Fahrenheit when you said 23, but yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right, so the main reason you're here is because we want to know about basketball, right? We're trying to drift away from the 2K scene. You're obviously really into basketball. You have multiple channels that dedicate towards it, whether it's just Twitch, whether it's YouTube. And we just want to know what got you into basketball. Like, how is the scene over there in Ireland?
I mean, the basketball scene is small. That's all I'm going to say. It's actually, a lot of people play the sport, but I think in terms of like the high level, in terms of the level of basketball, while it's getting a lot better, over the last like 10 years, we've had probably more D1 players in the last 5 years than in history before that, especially on the men's side. It's getting better, but standard is not particularly great. But one good thing is that the kids coming through are a hell of a lot better than we were. Like I made one of the 16s national squad.
Oh.
Like nationals, like not even on the panel, made the final team, made the final roster, and I don't even think I'd make a final 30 right now compared to how good these kids are. So thankfully, it's on the up.
Yeah, I mean,
these kids are a lot better than I was.
You kind of paved the way. That's how I see it. We got some pictures of you playing. We're probably gonna put them on the screen right now. But basically, like you know how like nowadays here in the U.S. we look at it and we're all like, oh, it's more like the younger generation is getting attacked by the older generation, right? You could see it with like Shaq attacking Gobert and all that. But you could see it in a different light over there because I'm sure it's not as big. But I'm sure you can relate and say that some of the guys that played before you paved the way for you guys and made it easier. So that's why you could relate that whole those players getting better is because of you.
Oh, big time. Like, I wouldn't say the way I played specifically. Like, I played a different sport, which is called Gaelic football. It's kind of like a mixture between soccer and rugby.
Okay.
And while I wasn't particularly great at that sport, I basically played basketball like it was Gaelic football. Like, I was a 6'2" post player. I knew I could get away with hacking people. I was just that annoying player that was just kind of there. I'd chip in with like 10 points in a game, rebound the ball better than most people in the country, and play good defense. But like, I wasn't a basketball player. I was just a tough guy that happened to be able to score a layup and hit a jump shot.
So Patrick Beverly, or would you relate yourself to somebody else?
I'm trying him on probably closer.
All right, sounds good. I like that better. All right, well, so over here we have, like, basketball is probably one of the top tier sports. When you walk around, you'll see a lot of basketball courts. You'll see some baseball courts. We don't really have that many soccer courts, or soccer fields, I should say, right? So over there, what are you seeing as you walk across the streets, like through a playground or near a school?
Honestly, there's a lot of pitches. Like, I live in Dublin. I live very close to Dublin City. There's not that many in terms of pitches and stuff. A lot of them are kind of like on my clubs, but like kids now, or what used to is just playing soccer is kind of a big thing over here. Like, Gaelic football would be the biggest organised sport, but it's kind of soccer's probably the easiest one to just play casually. Like, two people throw their jumpers on the ground and just go, and you just kick the ball around with your friends. Like, so that's why. And in basketball, there's not that many courts. There's not that many outdoor courts. There's like two within a 2 mile radius of me, and no one's gonna go and just pick up basketball outside.
Yeah, it makes sense. Plus the weather, like you said, isn't like really encouraging, I guess. And if they're not there, no one's gonna have a chance to really play. But
yeah, and to play it's so expensive to play basketball in Ireland as well. Like you're paying, even for a kid that's 13, you're basically making parents have it $300 a year just to register.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. It's definitely it's not worth it unless you're investing in someone's future. So like, if you're gonna go overseas and play D1, otherwise it wouldn't really wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. I know. Obviously, there's an enjoyment factor in sports, and for everyone who plays basketball, like, there's gonna be, for every 100 people who play basketball, one person's gonna be able to make it, not even make it a career, will be able to actually get anything out of it, whether that be a scholarship or something along those lines. So obviously, if it is for enjoyment, I have to be taken into account as well, not just an investment for its future.
No, you're right. You're right.
I do understand where you're coming from, though, because there are a lot of people where sport kind of is, they're almost way out, and it's something that's kind of like, they're kind of way to a better life in sport, and a lot of them would end up gravitating towards playing soccer because, well, it's a lot easier to get into. Like, the fees are less. It's a lot more people playing on the street, so I do get where you're coming from at that point, though.
Yeah, got you. So something I didn't say in the intro, I didn't want to hype you up too much, but you're one of everyone's motivation. You didn't just motivate me to start or to push myself harder, because like, honestly, there were times where I didn't feel like uploading, or I didn't feel like putting that much energy into my craft. But seeing your work ethic, it just drove me to a different level. I'm like, I thought I was doing a lot of work until I saw what you were doing, and it just pushed me that much further. I was like, I remember that one time where you didn't miss a whole year at all, and I was like, all right, I think I could do that. And I honestly, I couldn't, I'm gonna be honest, but you pushed me to be better, and I saw the results. So I want to know what pushes you, what made you have this work ethic that we all strive to have.
I I actually, like, honestly, it's one of those things that I just do it. I just put in the hours. Like, it's a weird one. Like, when I was growing up, I would have played like basketball. I would have on the national team. I was a national. I'm like won 5, 6 national medals in track and field. Played for like my county, which is like my region, in hurling, which is an Irish sport, and played high enough level game of football as well as played high level tennis. So I kind of played. Like growing up, it was like leave school 4 p.m., train with the school team all 5 days, get home, eat, train with my club team, play a different sport, and then do that 7 days a week, 6 days a week, weekends just playing sports. So growing up, I never really kind of stopped doing anything. Obviously, school was a big thing as well. So I never really stopped. And then obviously finishing secondary school or high school, I started YouTube instead of boredom because I didn't have a job and I didn't want to do nothing. And so I just started doing that. And then when YouTube kind of took off, I was playing. The first year it took off to get 70, and I was playing basketball at the top league in Ireland, so we were playing 6 days a week. I was in college full time and then making one YouTube video every day. Then when it kind of went full time towards 2K19, I was like full time in college as well as doing YouTube. 2K20 pre-COVID was I was teaching full time, so I was like waking up at 7 a.m., getting in from 8 to like 5 p.m. teaching. Got home 8, then worked till like 3 a.m. and slept 4 hours a night. I did that for a couple of months. And then what I'm doing right now is easy. Like, compared to the amount of work I have to do, it's easy. But it's one of those things because I never really stopped. I never really take a break. I don't feel the need to do it. Like most people, it's weird, like, people constantly ask me, they're like, you should take a break, you should take a break, you should do this, you should do that. I try to take a break for a day, and I'm like, I want to keep doing it. I want to keep active, I want to do something. So for me, it's just a case of what I've always done since I was 12 years old, and it's normal for me. So while it's not normal for most people, it's just normal for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been drilled in you since you were a kid, basically. So
yeah.
Now we get the backstory because honestly, I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't know that you've really been doing this forever, and it makes sense why you're so dedicated and you put in all your work into.
Sure, I mean, my parents were the same. Like my dad did a college degree when he was 38, maybe. He started his college degree in in computer science in my old college, probably on state foot course in the country. While like I think he started when I was maybe 3 years old, so I have younger sisters while having 2 kids while also working a full-time job. Did night courses and got a really good grade in the hardest course in the country, so kind of drilled into all of us. Like my sister's in her first year of PhD, so I'm kind of, it's not a normal thing, but it's kind of normal in my family to put in this amount of time at work.
That's awesome. That's definitely it's an Ireland thing. You want to say that, or you wouldn't go that
It's not an Ireland thing. Like most of my friends think I'm crazy.
No, okay.
Like we'll be at basketball tournaments and I'll disappear for an hour and edit the video and I'll be back. Like,
I mean that is pretty crazy, to be honest. But we respect it. We honestly do, and we appreciate all that you do. We know, at least I know how hard it is. So the fact that you've been able to do this for as long as you have, because we're not talking about a 1-year stretch. We're not talking about a month. We're talking about your career. You've been doing this over and over again. We are seeing it in every aspect. Like there's games that a lot of us quit or decide we don't want to play, and you're still able to put in that mindset and the work for other people that are still willing to play. So we appreciate you for that for sure.
Yeah, I hate 2K21 current gen. I can't lie. I hate current gen so much. I'm so happy next gen came out. I'm actually enjoying making videos for the first time in years. I love next gen. I'm so happy.
I'm really glad that that's the case because I'm with you, but I'm still playing current gen for some reason. But I told you we're not talking about 2K today. We want to know other things. Yeah. People ask me questions. They want to know your favorite cereal. I know that's random, but I don't know how it is over there. Like, let me know some of the your go-to candies, like chocolate, or you just take it away. We want to know your favorite food and all that.
Okay, cereal. I haven't eaten breakfast since I was probably 13. So I don't think I can answer that.
All right, I wanna cut you off for a second though, just so you know, cereal's not just a breakfast thing. A lot of us eat it before we go to sleep. You can eat cereal at any time. There were days that I ate cereal 3 to 4 times. So I'm just gonna say it like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But no, I've probably eaten cereal 10 times since I was 13. So,
Got it.
trying to think what else is good in terms of chocolate. I mean, nothing you have in America is good, really.
You gotta put us on.
Like,
Let us know.
in terms of like jellies, like things like Sour Patch Kids are great you have over there. They're better than anything you have here. But your chocolate's so bad over there. I don't know what's wrong. Like that's the first thing that everyone from Europe says when they go to America is the chocolate is terrible.
I believe you.
It's so bad.
It probably goes down to like our cows and how they take care of them in the farm, like to get the dairy products to make the chocolate. Like it probably is just like how it's manufactured from top to bottom, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
So let
That's
us know
true.
what chocolate you got over there, so I know when I go visit or when anyone likes to visit.
I mean, the best actual chocolate is just normal dairy milk. There is no, if you're just looking for just plain chocolate, dairy milk is best.
Mhm.
And it's not even both Cadbury's dairy milk. And you have it in America, it's not the same. It's not the same in America.
I agree.
When you go to Europe, it's the best. It's the best we have over here anyway.
So you've traveled a lot with like your team and stuff, or like different countries, right? Obviously.
Travel with team. Is that what you said? Sorry.
Yeah, like with the national team, you guys were traveling around like in
yeah.
different countries and stuff.
Yeah, like we went to obviously play in Belgium a few times. Played over in Britain a lot, quite a bit actually.
Oh,
We went to Luxembourg to play a tournament. So, honestly, it's a lot more similar going to someplace in America, being in Dublin, than it is going to, like, say, Luxembourg. Like, New York's more similar to Dublin City than Luxembourg is to Dublin, or, say, Madrid is to Dublin. Something like that. So it's a bit of a weird one. Dublin's, like, somewhere in between, like, stereotypically the way people look at Europeans and kind of American, especially kind of more East American cities and stuff.
Gotcha. Now I was trying to understand. So like, if you weren't living where you are right now, do you think you would go anywhere else? Like, where could you see yourself living, or do you really love it there and you're not moving?
Pre-COVID, I was actually not half considering I was going to move to the States. I was probably going to move to Austin because, well, one, state income tax is low and the tax is very high over here. As well as that, like I knew a few people there, so I was thinking, you know what, it'll be good to move over. I paid quite a lot of money to an immigration lawyer, trying to sort that out, and then obviously COVID happened. It kind of delayed it a bit, and then about halfway through COVID, I realized I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to be that far away from friends and family, so I don't think I could go any further than London, which is an hour flight away. I really don't. I'm that much home here, and I don't think I could go any further away than London. And that's one good thing from COVID is I realized that before I moved halfway across the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely some positives that we learned throughout this process, like whether it's something about your significant other or like just in general, like your work, how you are at home with certain things. So there is some positives. I'm glad you found one. But I know it would have definitely been easier for you, like when it comes to your grinds, because now you're something that a lot of people don't realize is how many hours ahead of the world are you? Like, what time does content drop for you?
We are 5 ahead of Eastern time, so it's like 4 p.m. when packs drop.
Yeah, and then if like sometimes 2K drops things way later or off schedule, so that definitely messes up your mood or your groove. Yeah. And then if someone like me delays you a couple hours on something like this, like I can see that really being a big problem for you. And how do you go about that?
I mean, it's one good thing is that I don't actually have them. Is that nothing is actually happening in Ireland. So basically, I I can quite easily stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 12 p.m. and not miss out on anything. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm basically sleeping on American time for the last year.
Yeah, it's not bad when you do it like that, but I'm sure it still affects you with like your family and other things like that. But you probably balance that out pretty well. So
yeah, like there's kind of all my family are incredibly busy. Like, so it's kind of most of the time when they're not working, I'm working, and when I'm not working, they're working. So it's really just try to spend about half an hour or so a day with them. Just to take my mind off 2K a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of I don't even know how to describe it, but I don't really feel like it's affecting me much of the time difference.
Yeah, no,
like when I was in San Diego was the worst because I was getting up at 5 a.m. because I didn't know when to care to drop content.
No.
I spent a little bit of I spent 6 weeks in 2019 living in San Diego, which is on wet time, and like I'm normally a person who stays up really late, have to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, just in case 2K drop content early. Because do you remember in 19 they were dropping at random times, it wasn't always the same time.
Yeah. Now, without a set schedule, it was so tough. Like, I'm glad they kind of set it. We still don't know perfectly the days. Like, sometimes they mess around with that, but having, like, a set drop time is awesome.
Oh, 100%. For me, anyway, it's a lifesaver.
Me, personally, when I'm done with the whole YouTube thing, I like to just turn off. The way I get about it is I like to watch a movie with the family if we have time. If not, I end up just chilling watching basketball. I know the time difference probably affects you with watching live games. So like, what's your go-to thing when you're done? Are you able to zone out and cut off all the distractions with the whole, like, is your work just work, or does it interfere with your regular life is what I'm asking.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like I genuinely enjoy going around watching Twitch streams and stuff. I don't like watching YouTube videos 2K because it's kind of like too similar to what I do. Like I'll be most of the time kind of chilling on the stream. I'll watch, as I'm wearing a Leeds jersey right now, I'll watch every Leeds game religiously. Keep up basically half the time just looking at when I'm on YouTube, just watching videos of Leeds news. And that's kind of basically it. Like I work most of my waking hours, and I'm perfectly fine with that because if I wasn't working, I'd be sitting there doing nothing. And for me, it's actually more stressful to sit there and do nothing than it is to do work, which is the weirdest thing. Like most people, they'll rather not work and they can switch off. For me, it's like when I can't switch off, and I've never been able to. So it's like it's more stressful for me to try and relax, take a break, than it is to just work every waking hour.
Well said. Makes sense. You basically touched on all that earlier. That's your work ethic, and that's your all that. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's apart from that, really, like there's nothing going on, especially over here. Like I can't make house. I can't go meet friends. Like it's lockdown. Obviously, things will change when the restrictions are lifted. But for the past year, we've barely been able to leave the house, so it's kind of hard to really do anything except for watch a couple YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you.
Like watching Leeds play is like one of the very few things I look forward to every week. So,
for anyone that doesn't know, you want to care to explain? People don't watch sports overseas. No one knows anything. So just pretend you're talking to a bunch of Americans.
Oh yeah, my favorite soccer team, Leeds United. Fans in Europe are just a completely different level in any sport to fans in America. If you guys don't know that, like just even watch fans at EuroLeague basketball game, like they're fanatics. Like imagine college basketball fans and treble that. Like that's fans. Like fans from most football clubs are fanatics, especially if your club is not that good. Like you support like the Man United of the world, the Barcelona, the Liverpools. Probably just supporting a team. If you support one of the lower teams, if you're a West Ham fan, a Burnley fan, a Leeds fan, a Fulham fan, Millwall fan, yeah, most of the time you're some sort of fanatic, some sort of an ultra. So yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. So most Most people don't know I'm from Egypt. So soccer is huge there. I know I made you mess up and say soccer a couple times, so I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to do that.
It's not like it's soccer over here. We have our own football.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay. But for anyone watching over there, I'm sorry, it is football. I know that. But for here too, it's soccer because we have our own football as well. So over there, the fans are so crazy. They actually end up getting kicked out most of the time, and they're banned, and they're not allowed to play. Like, they're not right now for the past couple years before COVID. I'm talking about before COVID. They weren't allowed in. That's how bad the fans were at one point. And that's just how they wear their heart on their sleeve. That's how much they care. That's their pride. That's how they take it. And I understand that as someone who's been to Europe and been to Africa and other countries. For sure.
Like, should they have to escort? They literally have to, a lot of time, escort fans out. Like, you can't, they all have their certain sections of the crowd. And there's, like, security guards half the time between rival sets of fans. Sometimes they have to be police escorted out on their buses. Like, the away fans. Like, it's not as bad as it used to be, but, man, like, especially if anyone in the chat knows, or in that's watching this knows anything about Leeds and Leeds fans, some of the times Leeds lost seeing what was happening after those games. Like, it's, I don't even want to describe it. But if you have any idea what I'm talking about, you know how bad football hooligans get in England. Especially.
I believe you personally, and I'm sure they can look it up and see all those videos and stuff. The next question I have now is, honestly, I'm not even going through off a script. I'm not really trying to ask you anything. I'm just trying to learn about you, so I'm just going off the top. So I want to know, like, movies, shows. I know you don't watch anything now. You don't have the time. You're just mainly in Twitch. But growing up, was there a go-to cartoon? Was there something something that you still think of or that helped, I don't know, take off some free time when you were younger?
Like obviously as a kid, like, I assume it's very similar to a lot of kids my age over the States. Nickelodeon, Disney Channel obviously were absolutely massive. Obviously growing up with the likes of Drake and Josh, iCarly, Zoe 101, those type of shows. Obviously all the Disney Channel ones as well. They were great, and honestly, I rewatched iCarly and Victoria during COVID while I was like grinding spotlights in it, and recently a little bit during the Terry grind. They're still great shows.
I agree.
But honestly, I don't really like to get into many series and stuff. Like you know the type of shows where if you watch one episode, some people might kind of have to binge watch 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's what I really try to not get involved in any of them. Although I would kind of love it, probably really enjoy a lot of them. But it just that takes too much time. Like so for me, even though they're considered bad shows, like I'll watch shows that don't really have any link from one episode to the other. So like I'll sit there and watch like a Big Bang Theory episode, watch Friends over and over again because they're just kind of easy to watch, kill half an hour. So like the last series I watched was probably Gossip Girl. Great show. And that's probably the last series I watched, which was 5 years ago.
No, I believe you. There's actually a lot of great shows that we don't watch because it's something like that. It's like, oh, they have nothing to do with each other. And I'm one of those people, like, I have to watch something that goes in order or that catches me and keeps me there. And I'm glad that you're one of the people that thinks the opposite, and we need to give those more of a chance. So I'm with you on that.
Oh, no question. Like, I'll watch bad shows, even if just to kill half an hour. Basically. It's just, and I'll miss out on a lot of great shows just because I don't have time to kind of binge watch and consistently watch 10 episodes of a show. Like.
Now, plus, it's like you're more into like the non-mainstream stuff, so that's kind of good too. Like, I feel like I don't really like mainstream shows that much, but I tend to go towards that because it's easier and everyone's talking about it. But I guess you're watching more of the other stuff too.
I mean, it's kind of hard to argue that shows like Friends and Big Bang Theory aren't the most mainstream. It's just they're not quite as popular on Twitter, but they probably are the most kind of mainstream.
Yeah, I got you. So now we'll go into the other type of mainstream, which is music. I don't know how music is over there in Ireland, so give us a little rundown.
It's kind of similar to America, except minus all the like new mumble rap artists. Like if you get rid of most of the mumble rap and that type of genre, it's basically the same thing. Like obviously artists like Drake, huge here, Beyonce, huge. There's a few people in Ireland, a few like Irish artists that would be a lot bigger here in other countries like Dermot Kennedy. And anyone watching, if you haven't heard Dermot Kennedy, he's going to be huge. So I assume a lot of you guys have Dermot Kennedy, great. But
I'm gonna have to give him a better listen to after this.
But yeah, it's like for myself, music wise, I honestly just, if you've ever been in my streams, that's basically the music I listen to. Like half my playlist is old beat songs, a bunch of stuff from that are kind of nostalgic, and that's a lot of what Irish people listen to, which is very strange. Like I'm very slowly getting old and becoming that old person that tells all the young kids that the music was so much better back in their day and just listens to old stuff. So I don't think I'm the best person to be asking my music because I'm very close to becoming that person.
Yeah, so honestly, like, yeah, your Twitch streams, if no one's watched that, I'm definitely going to link it down below. But your Twitch streams has a whole different vibe, and you could just mess with it because you obviously know the game, you know what you're talking about. And I'm glad that you're actually enjoying it now. Like, we noticed during the current gen grinds, a lot of us really haven't been feeling it, but now you can tell the difference for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, when I stream, I just stream at boredom. Like I always say, streaming will never. I can't say will never because if I do get offered a good streaming deal, I may take it. But as of right now, streaming isn't my job, so I couldn't care less. But now it makes I'll play copyright music. I don't care if I'm getting banned. I'm just there having fun on stream. That's basically it.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for that. We definitely look forward to it. We love that vibe, and we're glad to grind 2K with you. And I said I'm not going to talk about it, so I'm going to try to direct my attention somewhere.
Don't worry, 2K's, like, that's one of the things where it's like, I don't enjoy 100% of life being about 2K, but like, it is such a big part of both our lives that it's kind of hard to 100% ignore 2K. So.
Nah, you're right, 100%. All right, so since we're going to talk about it, let's say what in your life helps you in 2K? Like, besides that you obviously played, but is there something that, I'm not saying something in your life that did help you, but more or less, do you have that, like, for me personally, I'm going to explain it like this. So for me personally, since I've been coaching for like 2 years now, 3 years now, and I think that my coaching helps me, whether it's through my streams or YouTube or just explaining the matter, but I feel like I understand the game in a different way. And I'm trying to get at the point that since you've been a teacher, I think that can help you with not just YouTube, but like just the whole vibe, like how to explain it to some of the, I'm not even gonna say the kids that watch us, but everyone that watches us. I think you can break it down in a different sense, right?
Like, yeah, I'm not even sure if the teaching specifically, like obviously I'm guessing it does help like in actual like delivery of the points, but it's kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, when you're studying to be a teacher, you learn a lot of like the theory behind certain like teaching methods and stuff. And I try to use some of them in 2K because, like, when you're learning to be a teacher, you're always told make sure that the kids aren't, or not the kids, the students aren't just able to like rote learn. They actually know why they're doing everything, so they actually kind of understand it. So for me, that's kind of the way I try to look at the game. To make sure that I don't just know that Kobe Bryant is good because he's Kobe Bryant. You need to know every little thing about the card, why he's good, what makes him good. And if they have weaknesses, why they're weaknesses, or why they're weaknesses. And that's why I look so in depth at SIGs, I look so in depth at stats, why I look at every little player. And the reason why I've been able to finally find the hidden gems. And it's just, it affects my entire kind of outlook on the game, and I think it helps in terms of making content, because not as much nowadays, because everyone kind of looks at the game in a certain way, but I know you were there back in the 2K16, 2K17 days. People used to get hyped for example, a Kyrie Irving just because it was a Kyrie Irving card.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, what I kind of started off doing in 17 was looking more in depth, stats of every card, looking at things that are tangible, looking at situations, cards are going to be good. And yeah, that's kind of why initially I took off. And now it's kind of what everyone does. like it's something that's just seen as the normal nowadays. But like when we started, it wasn't happening, and I genuinely do think that the ability to look back at stuff like that, or say look more in depth, trying to understand why, to ask the question of why non-stop for everything in game, as long as you get a better understanding of the game, better understanding of cards, and a lot of that stem from being or studying to be a teacher. And as well as that, one of the biggest things, and it's the reason why I genuinely feel like most things in life I do tend to do quite well in, and it's another huge thing from that was really drilled into us as teachers, and it's reflection. It's just the ability to kind of reflect on everything. So if something works, think about why it worked, why it didn't, and if something doesn't work, think about why it didn't work. Try to just reflect on almost everything you do, and try to figure out what the best way of going about things are. Because I really do think that kind of approach to not only YouTube, just kind of everything in life normally has good results. Always trying to understand everything, think why certain things work a certain way, as well as reflecting. I do think that approach towards everything, or that approach kind of does bode well for success in a lot of things.
I agree with you. That's definitely a good trait to have. It's definitely something that a lot of us could look at, especially if anyone here is younger and looking into maybe teaching, or even if you're not looking into it, just whatever you're doing, try to apply that in a sense to look at the bigger picture and look outside the box. So we know that you started this whole trend, and I think you even did more than you believe, because I think 2K started looking at different names because of you. I think we can see that from Dean Wade, we can see that from Eddie Curry, we can see that from a lot of different aspects. So you started this maybe in 17, but it started taking more and more every year, and now we're seeing guys that we've never seen in 2Ks before. You're grinding for a dentist for years. Like, it feels like you've been playing forever, right?
Yeah, dentist. Don't get me started on this dentist card. I'm playing 40 hours for it. Don't get me started on.
Oh man, but no, seriously, 2K's adding like lawyers now, and people are starting to assume, oh, we're gonna get a principal next, we're gonna get a stockbroker, and it's just, you started that, like you said. A lot of people might not see it, but if you go back, you've been looking at these cards that no one noticed. Your fans are the reason we got that Dean Wade last year, we got that Eddie, and you can go back and look at it.
Yeah, so they are. That was the most fun thing. And like that's what I love doing in terms of 2K. Like getting a whole bunch of people like rallying together for Dean Wade card. Albeit Dean Wade's balling this year, by the way.
He is.
But, so like stuff like that are great. Suddenly you were seeing people actually running Dean Wade bronze in games. Like every bench had Dean Wade bronze on it, I won't say last year. Like almost memeing cards. Or everyone, like how Kirklu became like an absolute legend due to just almost memeing cards, albeit again, great player in real life. Mm-hmm. And that's the most fun thing about it. And like even the dentist run, and as annoying as it's been, I think it has made for some absolutely hilarious content. Like I've played like 40 hours, over 600 games. So some of the most funny videos I've ever made were about this dentist card, pretending to have a mental breakdown, not getting it, opening all the vaults, like it being a joke among everyone that has been the paid actor and the card doesn't exist. Seeing multiple tweets bang off that, like they're the type of things I love with the 2K community, like almost like inside jokes, kind of inside memes, and getting content out of that, getting good tweets out of that, and just. So that's just fun for me, honestly. Getting these like weird cards, suddenly the most hyped cards in the game. I love all that stuff.
Did you ever think or know you were gonna have that kind of impact though? Because like I know when I started, I never really expected anything. So what was your expectation / not even that? Because even we'll go back to last year, for example. You already had, like you already established for sure. But did you even expect that at that point?
Not really. Like it all kind of started. Like most of those like inside jokes started from streams, honestly. And that's one of the things. Like I don't stream that often, but there are so many of those like joke things started on streams, and I'm shocked. Like, obviously, the Ito Leaner was a funny thing from 19, Dragon Bender from 18, but like, I was even shocked at how much of an impact it had. Like, I remember I said everyone should try to get Dean Wade a spotlight sim card. And within like an hour, like 300 people tweeted me and tweeted Dean Wade. That's so bad. Dean Wade himself started tweeting about it. Like,
Yep. And you had Eddie Curry. You made that happen. You had him follow you, right? Like there was just.
I mean, I spoke to Eddie Curry a few times. Lovely guy.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
That's awesome.
I spoke to him a few times. But yeah, that's kind of crazy because like, obviously you see the following count. Like you're sitting on stream, you see the number, but it's like I've been sitting in the same room doing the same thing for the last 5 years. So it is kind of weird when that, while being in like the same place, you suddenly now have a following big enough that you can get Dean Wade a dime card in a video game.
Sure. That is definitely true. All right, let's scratch the 2K for a second. Let's go back. Well, we'll stay in the NBA though. So your favorite players, like what got you into it? Who was your eyes on at first, and then now? And then we'll start with there, and then I'll keep going after. Go ahead.
My favorite players, like obviously, I'm a huge fan of Dwayne Wade when I was 10 years old. The 06 championship winning team, obviously great. But the player that I loved watching most growing up was probably Steve Nash, because they didn't like they might have shown on Sky Sports one basketball game every 3 weeks when I was growing up. There was no internet, so they would only show one game, and it was nearly always the Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash because they were just the best team to watch. And like my dad loved watching them. Steve Nash was just that team. That team was so good, and Steve Nash on that team was so good. Like he was unbelievable. Like growing up, my favorite player, like when I started, like around the time I was playing on the national team, when I was playing some high level basketball, was Boris Diaw. The guy could change the game without taking a single shot, and I've never seen anything like it before. His IQ, his positioning, his defense. Man, I loved him. I modeled my game on him. I loved him so much.
It's funny you brought that up and the way you explained it, because that's honestly the main reason I liked who I liked, which was Jason Kidd. So he's kind of similar to Steve Nash. A lot of people like compare them at that time. But when you think about it, he's more like a Boris Diaw. I'll never forget, I was in 5th grade and they were in the playoffs. They won a game, but he had 0 points in the playoffs, like Eastern Conference Finals. He had 0 points. So the next day I'm in school, 5th grade, my teacher's talking to me. He's like, "What's going on with your man? What's good with Jason Kidd?" And he starts talking to me like, how's this possible? How's he only have 0? And I'm like, you can see he doesn't need to score. Like, he does everything else. His defense was on point. A lot of players like Richard Jefferson and Vince Carter, they were all saying like he was getting us paid just by his assists and his leadership and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of things that we don't see on the stat sheet. And that's something that Boris Diaw does. Like plus minus, I know isn't something we really should look at either. But those things, like that should count. And then you got to also realize the other things that don't count there, like just taking a charge or just little things like that.
Yeah, Jason Kidd. Wait, are you not a Knicks fan?
No,
you're a Nets
fan.
You're a Nets fan. I forgot about that. I was like, wait, are you not a Knicks fan and supporting Jason Kidd? That's a bit strange.
I mean, Jason Kidd, last time he was on the Knicks, they made
he played
playoffs too. But honestly, so I've liked the Nets because I actually lived in Jersey for like 3 years of my life. I was really young, so it doesn't count. But where I live in New York, it's actually closer to get to where the New Jersey Nets used to play than it was to get to the Knicks arena, right? So my dad, when they were bad, well, first of all, I started liking them because of Jason Kidd when they first went there. But he took me to my first game in 2003. There was the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'll never forget it. It was actually 2004. See, that's how much I forgot. But seriously, so I've liked them since then, and then I was able to get there. It was really easy and accessible, and I just liked them since. They were really good, and then they went through bad stages. But the Knicks never went through the good stages to begin with, so it was hard to even root for them. But oh man.
Yeah, Knicks had the 1 year with Carmelo Anthony. When since this century, they've had the 1 year of Carmelo Anthony, and that's basically all they've had.
Yeah, and then Jeremy Lin was that one also like quick moment that they never like let happen. Because I remember like those games, like New York was so ecstatic. We were rooting for him. I was actually at the first game he played which was versus the Nets. So it was Knicks Nets. It was my first time in the Garden ever, and they were like, he was on the 10-day contract. He was about to get cut. They put him in off the bench, and he exploded on Deron Williams. Like, he had a ball game. He had all of MSG chanting for him, including myself. Like, I was there with a bunch of Nets fans and Knicks fans, and everyone was ecstatic over him. And he did that for, maybe some people say it was just like, it was a fluke, but no, the time period happened for a while. It was a while, and he was able to do it consistently against a lot of players.
He was D'Antoni's point guard. Like, every team D'Antoni's coached and has done well has had like one point guard that dominates the ball and does the main thing. And he was that guy for that team.
I agree.
And it worked so well because Marius Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony are both injured. So he could actually play his system through Jeremy Lin. And Jeremy Lin, while obviously had a bunch of inflated stats, looked better than he was. Like, even in Charlotte, Jeremy Lin was an incredible sixth man. He was a more than solid NBA player for the best part of 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But those Linsanity was great.
Yeah. You don't even know it from like being here. It was just something different. Like, it was everywhere. Like, everywhere you go, it was Linsanity. It was really insanity. Like,
but he played so well. He was so good. And the worst is, like, he never lived up to that. He never played as well as that for as long as that again. But Jeremy Lin was a pretty good NBA player, again, for the best part of a decade.
I agree. All right, so speaking of basketball, we have some clips of you playing. We did our research. We got some stuff. We're going to show it right now. And we're just basically going to talk about just who's like the best player you played against. Is there any names out there? We're not sorry to put you on the spot like that, but it's good times, man. It's definitely, you have those memories. You think about it. I want you to talk while it's playing. So just tell me anything you got.
It's kind of a hard one because a lot of the guys I played, a lot of the absolute elite players I played against may not have been elite at the time. Like, there's a guy named Elite Franz. He played EuroLeague for Barcelona, and he's currently playing for Zaragoza in the ATP. But he was on my like Dublin regional team, but he was like a year and a bit younger than me. So obviously at 13 years old versus 12, there's normally a massive difference. He like sat on the end of the bench.
Yeah.
And I would play with him, but like obviously as he got older, he moved back to Spain and ended up playing EuroLeague. So I don't really want to mention him, but at senior level, I'm trying to think. I've sat on the bench versus a lot of good players. Like I'm not gonna fool anybody. I barely played in top league.
Hey man,
I rode the bench for it. I rode the bench for it.
Don't say that.
I rode the bench for my first season, then tore my hamstring. Basically missed my whole second season. So I'm not gonna count that. But like I played a lot of high, like decent level D1 players. I've scrimmaged more times. Like I've played pickup with D1, D2 players every summer since I was 16. So, but in a competitive game, I mean, talking about players in this country, I'm trying to think, is there anyone that a neutral would know? Probably not. Probably not. Like, a lot of good players over here, but not a lot that people would know outside of the Republic.
I got you. But
especially because at senior level, I didn't play, like, it was like, first year, obviously at 18, you're not going to play much playing senior level. Then tore my hamstring my second year. Then kind of dropped to local league levels. You're not playing against pros, so there really weren't that many great players. I played, and then obviously playing for the international level, underage. A lot of guys I don't know the names of, and are probably playing high level somewhere, but I don't know their names.
No, I got you with that. So, like, honestly, first of all, you got to have that Brian Scalabrine mindset. It's been so long, you could start moving on. You could start saying you're the star. We have highlights that show that you were nice. We got them jump shots going in. We have all the moves. So stop saying you were riding no bench. You know, Brian Scalabrine said one day he's going to tell his grandkids and his kids that he was the reason they won. So you got to get into that move.
Yeah. What clips are you watching, by the way?
I had a whole team looking stuff up. I have no idea, boss.
Okay. So it's just like, Jesus, there's one 1v1 on my channel that's public right now,
Yep.
and I look bad. But the dude I'm playing legitimately plays D1 basketball right now in the States. Like, so that's how everyone was just being like, oh, you're terrible, you lost. I'm like, this dude's about to go on a scholarship to a prep school and he's probably going to play D1. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. One day, when you come to the States, we gotta get to the gym. We gotta do that.
Oh, no question.
For sure.
No question.
I gotta see that wiener.
How was your post defense? Because I'm just gonna drop step you and shoot post.
Hey man, I'm gonna bait you. I'm gonna pull the chair all day. Come on, let's do it.
Nah, you're not. Don't worry.
I'm excited.
What are you?
What happened?
What height are you?
Oh, I'm 5'10".
Alright, then, yeah, it's a score time. I'm good.
We'll take you up on that, man. We're gonna have to stream it or something. We'll figure it out, but we'll make it happen for sure.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I actually thought you were seeing the clips, but now I'm gonna surprise you too. So that's gonna be awesome. Wait, so what do you see right now? Just so I know, this is off.
I'm just seeing a screen that says doing the moves.
All right, and you don't see me?
No.
Literally? What? All right,
No, I haven't seen you at all.
We gotta figure that out too then, because I thought you were at least seeing everything I was seeing. All right, that's good to know. My bad.
There we go. There we go. I can see you now.
Bro, where was this before? How you guys? That's crazy.
There we go.
All right, so yeah. Oh, so you missed your own clips.
Yeah. So basically, what's behind you on that screen is what I see.
That was all you were seeing. Wow.
Yeah, that was all I was seeing.
Wow. There's really nothing I wanted to know that we didn't cover. Like, I feel like we got to know you a little more personal in the beginning. We got to know how you became DBG more or less, right? Because of your work ethic and all that. Is there anything that you want to just say to us? And I'm not going to say a secret, but let us know something. We're ready.
Any hints? I don't. I'm not great on the spot.
So here in the States, we look at like Irish people in general. They all drink. They all do this and that, right? Are you into that, or are you just completely isolated to yourself? Like, start there.
I mean, I would probably drink at least, pre-COVID, I was probably drinking at least once a week. What people in America would probably consider drinking heavily, but what people in Ireland would consider going on a night out, on an average Friday night. But yeah, like that was, like I always say, like that was the big reason why I was kind of almost able to do all this stuff, was that I kind of would know at the end of the week or on a Thursday night, which would happen because it's a big college night, that I could finish work. I could finish up work at 11:30 p.m. So I could go and enjoy the rest of my night, not think about 2K and YouTube for 3 or 4 hours, and then wake up the next morning and not think about it because I'm too hungover.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a stereotype, and most people are like, oh yeah, you don't want to assume you drink a lot. It's like, the stereotype's there for a reason. It really is there for a reason.
I mean, we don't like to bring that stuff up, because I'm not going to say it like this, but some people are sensitive and we don't want to offend anyone. And obviously, a lot of stereotypes you shouldn't take to heart, or actually, like, even, I'm actually going to just say it, shouldn't take it to heart. Like, when someone says to me, oh, you live in a pyramid, you ride a camel, I'm like, okay, man, like, that's cool, that's mad funny, that's original. But
wait, is that an actual stereotype?
It is what it is.
There's like a couple of pyramids, and they assume that everybody. Well, to be fair, that is the American geography and American history. Like, it's just oblivious to everything outside America. That's the one thing I've learned, that most people in America are oblivious to what's going on outside.
That's why I had to go through the geography lesson in the beginning, and I had to tell you, we don't know nothing about outside sports. Literally, like Luka, you guys knew about him. The rest of the world knew about him. Maybe 10% of Americans knew about him, but everyone else had no idea. And he was that big before.
Yeah, like, sure, Luka literally was an all-star in the FIBA Eurobasket with over, like, Porzingis. There were, like, NBA all-stars that weren't in that all-tournament team. And he made the all-tournament team and basically him and Dragic led Slovenia to beating, like, Spain. Like, I'm just like, how has he dropped in the rankings after doing this? He was number 1 before that. He dropped to number 3 because DeAndre Ayton looked big in college. DeAndre Ayton had some big muscles and dominated a bunch of 18-year-olds in college. And Luka Doncic is out there dominating against Spain and dominating against Porzingis while he was an all-star.
That's one of those things where I feel like we need to do a better job here in the States, not just like looking at different countries and understanding it, but like our scouting system. And I'm glad that now they're letting players go play like in the D League, and now players are deciding to go overseas because now they're going to get a bigger national attention and all that. Yeah, I think that's going to be
Oh
cool.
yeah, but like it's always hard to scout from Europe. And I'll be the first to say that because the game is so different.
That's true.
It's not even like you can't compare them because there are guys that are playing bigness in the NBA that if you put them into EuroLeague would struggle because like you will get taken off and sent back home if you dribble 15 times in an offense and shoot a step back three in EuroLeague. Like you'll be whipped off the floor. The game's played at a much slower pace, so the likes of Boban and stuff really excelled in Europe. So there's a lot of like slower bigs that look a lot better in Europe because, like again, it is a stereotype, but in general, Europeans aren't as athletic as the guys over in the States. So it's a completely different game, and it's one of those ones where it's like having spoken to Americans that know the game very well. It's like I'll argue to my grave that the way basketball played in Europe is better, whereas Americans that know a lot about the sport will argue that the way it's done in America is better. It's almost like two completely different sports, and the ability of a person to adapt really is more innate. And like Luka was different because Luka had a little bit of that American flair. He liked to dribble. He'd shoot step backs in Europe. But like I flew to Barcelona the last time he played Barcelona for Real Madrid, which is like the big rivalry. His coach sat him every single time he missed a shot. He missed a step back. He would ISO. He'd miss. His coach would sit him. He didn't start the game. He played like 14 minutes and scored 2 points. And this was right before he was drafted. And everyone in America is like, oh, Luka just dominated EuroLeague. He was the best player in Europe. It's like, he was, but it's like, don't get me wrong, he was averaging like 13, 14, 15 points a game. Like, it's not like he was putting up 50.
No,
but that's just the way it is. Like, everyone in Europe knew that Luka's game was going to be better in the NBA than it was in Europe. Whereas someone like Denny Avdia, people were calling the next Luka, not even close. Not even close. Like his game, Denny Avdia is better off catch and shoot, whereas Luka was an ISO ball player. Luka was an American player or an American style player who happened to grow up in Europe, and it's just exceptional. So most people in Europe are almost bred from the time you're 12 years old to be role players, and that's the reason why you see a lot of them coming in that aren't big men, obviously. They're just role players.
No, I'm with you on that for sure. No, you definitely broke it down correctly, and
yeah. But speaking of stereotypes, like I just play into the fact that it's an Irish stereotype. I'll play into it. I'm good with that. To be fair, like some of the stuff I've said, I would probably never teach again, so I really don't care what I say. But like even at like the 2K launch part, the fact that I can literally just go out there, drink as much as I want, and go ham, have as much fun as I want. Whereas anyone else does it, they get like looked at so strangely, and are like, "Why is he here?" And I throw him out. I do it when Irish happens. Everyone's like, "Oh, there's that drunk Irish guy. The Irish guy is drunk. It's fun." And like you don't understand how many like large content creators, or like actual like almost like influential people that I've had connections with, I've been able to network with purely because I'm Irish and I get really drunk at these events. Like it's mad.
that's funny.
It works my favor. It works my favor.
That definitely does. Going on YouTube, what's something you really look forward to after you upload a video, or something that you hate or dislike? You could really talk about anything. Kind of a broad question.
Seeing a 1 out of 10 is pretty good. Can't lie. I don't really read comments that much because if you've ever read my comment section, you know it's pretty bad. I don't know. It's like it's a weird addiction of mine, and it's hard not to do it. But like, it's become an addiction looking at all the like 2K forums and seeing what they're saying about me. And I know I should. It's some weird addiction looking through these forums. And it's after I say something mildly controversial on the new thread on the forum talking about how I don't know anything and how I'm fraud, like them type of things where you're like, oh, I really don't want to read this, do I? But it's so hard not to. And I can guarantee you will not be the only one that's like this. I can guarantee you at least 50%. Actually, maybe that's a little high. I can guarantee you there's a lot of YouTubers that do it. It's a Kevin Durant situation. Like, it's addicting. It's addicting. Like, thankfully, I haven't gone to the stage where I've made any burner accounts. Like, I have an account that I'll use very evident when there's something I feel I need to respond to. But most of the time, I don't care about what's being said. I'm like, oh, let's see how these people are reacting. Let's read what ridiculous thing is being said about me. Like, even like read the comments. They're like, oh yeah, DBG is like 40 years old and he's still playing video games. Go out and live your life. Like, yeah, at the time, I'm 23.
People are always gonna do and say whatever they want, and that comes with the fame and all that, and you just gotta take it.
100%. 100%.
That meme page though on Instagram is great. That
meme page is the best thing ever.
I agree.
The DBG meme page. I don't know who made it. Whoever made that meme page, it kind of stopped in 2K21. They were great again 20. Get back to it. That is the best thing ever. Like, I love when, like, if you can take the piss out of me, like, if you can borderline insult me and it's funny, I'm good with it. Like, and that's one of the things in the community. I don't care if you say as much negative things you want about me. If it's funny, I will laugh.
Mm-hmm.
If it's funny, I'll laugh. Like, I don't care what. If you can creatively insult me and make it creative, make it funny in general, you know what? I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it. There's obviously a few things that are very kind of loaded out, but and if you can make a joke, if you can meme it, go ahead. Go ahead. Like, if you don't like me and you want me to see you insult me, please just meme it. Just make a meme. You don't like anything I say, meme it. I'll probably laugh. I'll probably laugh and reshare it. Like if you see some of the comments that I reshare on Twitter, like that are probably the worst insults. They're just so funny. Like, they are genuine. Some of the hate comments I get are genuinely so funny to look at that I'll just meme it and reshare it.
No, that's the one thing.
I say that I'm probably going to get 100 people to joke insults. You know what? That's great because that actually does drown out the actual insults as well. But that's because they're the funniest thing to read. They are the funniest.
It's good marketing, man. Nah, but seriously, so like, you're one of those people that I feel like is taken the wrong way, and you're just like one of the coolest dudes. Like, you're so genuine when like I'm talking to you through the DMs and I ask you for something, or just in general, whenever we're talking about anything. And I feel like your comments and just like everything people are showing, the energy is just so wrongly executed and put at the wrong person. And I feel like people just need to look at you at a different light, because I don't know what started it or what happened. I don't want you to get into it. I'm not asking you to get into it at all.
It's been happening since 2016. I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't care.
I'll be the heel person in the community. I'll be fully down number one. I don't care. It's not like that affects me. Like, there are definitely, like, I'll be the first to say, I snap at something I read in my Twitch chat during 250K a while ago. Like, there are obviously the occasional things you read that you just take heart, but that's kind of the same with everything. But I know it's one of those situations where, like, I'll be the first to admit, I go in most situations, I will speak my mind, and a lot of the time it's against the general consensus of the 2K community. As in, it's against the general consensus of the creators, and most of the time the community decides whatever the most creators' opinion is. So if all the creators are on one side and there's like one creator on the other side, it can be as ridiculous an argument as possible, but they'll side with all the creators. But most of the time, I'm probably on the other side, or but yeah, like even I'll say it, like, the origin, I'll always say, it was a big thing that happened for myself and everybody. and seeing how a lot of people kind of reacted afterwards, like the Uruguay situation, the Kobe last year, that kind of made me realize how ridiculous some of the things were. Because, like, myself included, most of the big creators kind of said that what he did was wrong. And people were, like, giving him hate for it. But, like, all of us were in the wrong in that situation. The community sided with us despite being wrong. And it's one of those situations where it's like, in real life, everyone would have just, we would have been the ones getting hate, and we should have been the ones getting hate. But that's not the way. Unfortunately, it's not the way this community works. They will side with whatever the popular opinion is. And again, it's like, in other situations, I was probably the only person that still to this day defends them. Because I like the guy, I've met the guy, he's a lovely guy. He made a few mistakes. He actually, no, if he held the stream as a mistake, he made a mistake. He said some things. He said some things he shouldn't have said while he was heated and high on stream. And people, to this day, if you say one positive word about him, scambish, like insults, like the fact that I've taken like situations like that, I'll still get people being like DMs every time I support me, like, why are you supporting him? What are you doing? He's scandalous. I'm like, I don't care. Like, he's still my friend. I'm still going to support the guy. He's made a mistake. And there are so many, again, situations where there's just, and like, I'm not going to speak that. You know the other situation.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
You know the other. You know the other situation. Still to this day, like, and I don't mean like, I mean still to this day, like, viewers and like people that would have been fans of the 2K community, not people that weren't involved, still don't like me because of that situation where it's like, I definitely worded things really badly for those kind of things. But like, even looking back on that, I'm like, I would slightly in the wrong, 100%. But it's like, you have people out there trying to completely cancel based on like manipulating text, making them a million times worse. Like, they were bad, not that bad. Bad enough that it kind of annoy you. And for most people, you just send them a DM being like, dude, look, this is my perspective on it, and chat. Not go on stream with 1,000 people and cut out parts of it. But like, look, it's a lot of situations thankfully have happened in the last year where I'm kind of like stopped necessarily caring about the hate, because like comment section hate, like you know that nobody cares about it. Once you get past the first couple of, like you spent years like we both did, like 2,000 or less. Like you, most of the time when you're at them levels, you're getting more hate than our support. Like we both are long past the time of caring about that. Whereas it's like the only kind of like hate there that are either really hardcore viewers who you recognize their screen names, or people that are kind of in the community, that type of hate. And I know for a fact that I'm probably not that well liked amongst a lot of even creators in this community that I've never spoke to, and their situation, I really don't care.
The one thing that like I've always liked, like, first of all, me personally, I never really got into drama with anybody. Like, I try to stay away from that stuff. Like, especially that.
Yeah, I can't. And the worst part is that I have every, like, I have every, like 90% of my team YouTubers muted on Twitter. And I'll tweet something. And all their replies, this is a shot at this person, like, I don't know what they said. If it happened to be a shot at them, fine. But it's not an intentional shot.
It's one of those things where it just comes down to, that's where your position of power is. It's like, you look at all the big athletes in the world, or big superstars in any field, right? Whatever they say is going to get taken out of context. It's going to be blown out of proportion. And you're at that stage in the My Team community. You're arguably, if not the biggest My Team creator, one of your top 3 for sure. And you've been there from the beginning. Like, everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows your name. Everyone knows everything. Not everything about you. That's why we're here. But everyone knows who DBG is. So at the end of the day, a lot of the attention towards you, I feel like, is negatively drawn. And I don't like that personally, because I know who you are. You've never changed, which is one thing I like. And that's one thing I always notice when you're looking at online people, right? Or anybody. You look at people who change after they become bigger, or they change after this. And I don't like that. And I'm glad that you're one of the people that hasn't changed at all. So I respect you for that. And this whole drama situations, I feel like we're just getting at an age where all that stuff shouldn't matter. We should all be together, especially during this time. Like, we can see it. I feel like we're the only community that takes things and keeps it forever. We hold these grudges for so long, when in reality, if you look at like the Call of Duty community, they got all these people hated each other at one point or were against each other, but now they're best friends. Now they live together. Like, all this stuff, just, we get older, we live, we make mistakes, we learn. And I'm not saying we hug it out and we live together, but I'm saying like we can move past that. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
I'll always say it. Like,
I'll say something constantly. Like, obviously, you love people are in real life. Like, you like people like other people. Some people more than like other people. Like, there are only two people in my team community I will refuse to like even entertain and working with. Like, other than that, like, I'll work with anyone. I'll interact with anybody. I know, apart from with two people, there's no bad blood between anybody. So, yeah, it's one of those situations. Like, there are probably people that hate me that I don't hate. There are probably people that think I hate them and I don't. But yeah, like as you said, we're all just like that. And even with you think that not hate, like, if I'm sitting in the same room as I sat in when I made my first YouTube video, I'm 24 years old. I'm with my parents. I was in college until 6 months ago, studying to be a teacher. Like, you can't, and I also live in Ireland where nobody cares if you make YouTube videos. So it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to think of this as anything other than me sitting in a room with my parents' house making videos. So.
But don't say nobody cares that you're making videos. We seen that you were with 30 for 30. We seen that article. Don't.
I mean, I don't mean it that way. I mean it as in like my friends. Like, oh, you're still making YouTube videos. Oh, how's it going? Oh, it's doing really well. All right, yeah. Let's go and do some shots.
No, I get that. It's definitely not one of those glamorous jobs as it is here. Like in the States, everyone's like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber," and then they'll like really care. But yeah, I get that. It's definitely like that in different parts. So we'll go away from the drama a little bit, right? Last thing I really want to talk about. Somebody in the studio actually wants to know. We know you don't like Connor, all right? McGregor. So can you please express that a little more? First, before you get into it, I'll say, like, since I'm from Egypt, Mohamed Salah is like the biggest deal for us. So like over there in the country, everyone looks up to him. His billboards are everywhere. Like, he's everywhere, literally. If I just go to this street, I'm gonna see his picture on this ad. I'm gonna see his picture on that ad, like everywhere. So is he that over there? And then I want to take your perspective after.
I mean, no, there's not. I mean, he's probably the most famous person in Ireland.
I'll be the first to admit that. He's still one of our most supported athletes, but also one of our most kind of detested athletes. Obviously, in America, it's a little bit different, where a person can be a horrible person if they're a great sports person, they'll still be supported. Whereas in Ireland, like, it's a little bit different. Like, McGregor's been accused of a lot of things, which obviously he's been accused, not proven guilty of a lot of them. So obviously you can't really take them into account. But also McGregor has the thing with the bus was pretty bad. The fact that he punched an old man in the back of the head. There are a lot of videos of Conor McGregor that have not, you may not find publicly, that have been shared around. And people in Ireland know a lot more than people outside of Ireland about the things he's done outside of the ring. But it's hard to not respect the guy as a fighter. Like, his very first fight was a 5-minute walk from where I live. He did really come from nothing. He came from nothing, was ultra focused, and up until really post McGregor or Mayweather fight, he was universally loved here, and there was no reason not to. Like even if the trash talk definitely goes too far, and like there was a lot of people that were kind of like, with after the stuff he said with Khabib, that were kind of like, you know what, he probably deserved to get beat up after what he said. But it's very obvious from my perspective anyway, that type of stuff is just an act to try, one, build up the fight, and two, maybe get into his opponent's head. But some of the stuff he's done, like, again, punching an old man, cheating on his wife multiple times, throwing like a fence or a barricade at a bus, breaking it and sending someone to hospital. Like, they're the type of things where it's like, it's not that people can't support him, because a lot of people in Ireland do. It's just a lot of us, after all that, just said, like, you know what, we can't support them to the extent that we did. Like, Ireland is a bit of a, when one of us goes, we all go to war. Like, every Irish person supported McGregor up to a point. Like, up to that Mayweather fight, didn't matter who you were in Ireland, you were staying up till 5 a.m. Millions of us. People were taking out loans. People were taking massive loans to go over to see that fight. Like, he was number one, and I don't know. Obviously, the mystique of him's kind of gone. He's no longer as good as he was, and he's done a lot of other things, shady things outside of MMA. But I can't lie, to get to be in Ireland and experience Conor McGregor at his peak, from, like, especially because it was when I was like 17, 18 years old, when you're first, like, starting to go out, first starting to, like, drink and party. Like, there was whole nights based around McGregor's fights. Weeks leading up to McGregor's fights were great. Like, the experience of the initial rise of him was unbelievable. It was like nothing I've ever seen in this country. But the fall of Conor McGregor, the person, is kind of, it's taking its toll on him right now. But you know what? Still have some great memories watching him fight, and it's just, like a lot of people in Ireland, I just don't support the guy anymore.
Gotcha. I appreciate you clearing the air, explaining that to us, because I know I had questions on that too, so it's good to know. That'll be pretty much it. I think we covered everything that I wanted to have a talk with you about. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm sure there is obviously a lot of other questions, so maybe one day we'll have you back with some of the other things that come to mind. But all we're going to say now is we appreciate you for your time. I know you took out a lot of time to be here for us, so thank you so much.
Don't worry about it.
Appreciate you, man.
Don't worry about it, Most. It's all good.
I'm sorry you couldn't see me the whole time. That was definitely probably awkward for you.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world anyway.
Yeah, like I said, this was our first time, so, like, definitely we're gonna learn.
Studio looks good.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna send you a picture of this whole thing. It's pretty dope. It's a
what gave you the idea of, like, going to a studio and filming it?
My boy that's listening to you right now, his name is Ali. He's a cool dude, man. He hooked me up. He sees some potential in me that I probably don't see in myself, and we've been working on this for a little bit.
That's fair. Anyway, hopefully having me on as number one can help boost get a couple of thousand views episode one, and then it just fires up from there. I
appreciate you. All right, so I want your final goodbyes, I guess, since we didn't do that. If you want to say anything or anything.
All right, so I'm not as Mick Curley, I'm not very good with outros. Well, to be fair, I haven't spoken 1 second of my actual voice on this stream. But let's just get into YouTube mode. So anyway, that is the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I love seeing that in action, man. We just got to see that live. That's fire.
Oh, the YouTube voice. The YouTube voice might be the enemy. Like, that might be the biggest regret, was the YouTube voice.
Nah, don't say that. So we all have it. Because whenever I'm playing 2K and I turn on the mic for someone that's, like, trying to talk to me, they're like, yo, that's not the real Most. That's not you. You don't sound like that. I'm like, bro, do you want me to go, yo, yo, yo? Like, I don't have that energy. I'm just chilling. Like, it's, but nah, we definitely all have that YouTube voice.
But, like, I mean, the way I'm speaking now is completely different to the way, like, this is probably the way I actually speak. Like, this is probably the closest thing to my actual voice that I can do. And the problem is that I speak way, way too fast, and Americans can't really understand me. So, like, if I speak normally, it's very, very rare. Like, people legitimately, when I started off YouTube, could not understand a word I was saying. But yeah, like, this is my stream voice, and then there's the YouTube voice. What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today
It's golden, man. Thank you. And that was it for our first episode of our Guestly series. We're gonna have one every week. Make sure you guys check out DBG. We really do appreciate him for his time. He did it amazing. It was really nice to talk to him, genuine conversation, just to get to know him a little bit better. I'm sorry if I did anything wrong. It was definitely my first time interviewing someone. Plus, I didn't want to just read off anything. I was just trying to come up with stuff, not on the spot, but kind of have a convo. So let me know if there's anything you would want to know about anyone in the future. I'll definitely let you guys know who the next guest will be a little beforehand. You guys will be able to ask some questions if you want to throw anything in there, and I'll make sure to ask. So just remember, these are going to be every Friday. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Put on the post notification. I won't spam you, I promise. Just so you know that it's out at this time. I never did anything on a schedule, but I'm gonna try my best. And I got a little surprise for you guys. Spotify and Apple should be having our podcast soon. So if you guys don't want to watch my beautiful face or whoever's beautiful face is here with us, it's fine. You'll be able to listen to it. Thank you guys for spending time with me. I'll be seeing you guys later. Thanks for doing the most. No, man. I'm sorry, it was a long time, right? What happened?
I fought for messing up.
Oh, nah, you were good. You were good.
I'm so sorry, man.
I was talking fast. Nah, y'all good. It was our first time.